Hello, and how you doing? Good to see y'all for episode 2 of
2.
Gearheads and Guardians. It's right. Got Drew over there, got Chuck right here.
Old Chuck,
How's
Mr.
everybody
Burr.
doing today? Mr. Burr, that's right. Now, I don't know if anybody actually seen. I tried to get a small commercial ready for today, but today we're going to kind of talk about for kind of brief about basically some things to think about when you're choosing a new everyday carry firearm. Okay.
Mhm.
And what I mean by firearm, I mean handgun. Some people, might carry an AR-15. I don't know, but
Here in Texas, you can.
in Texas, you can do just about anything. But
Yep.
so let me start off with um, caliber. Okay. And it's kind of
Mhm.
funny that I wanted to start off with that because um, Drew and I was talking earlier before the show started, and we were talking about big thing was caliber, you know,
Mhm.
how, you know, some people want to say, oh, I need a, a this or I need a that. Okay. And and now again, solely our opinions. It's not, based on anything. This is all opinion. Okay.
Mhm.
But my opinion, truthfully, if it's a 22
Mhm.
or if it's a 50 or anything in between, okay? If you're not trained, you're not comfortable with it, it's not going to do you a bit of good,
No, not at
okay?
all. Mhm.
Okay. So if you have a preference, and I do, I have a preference, okay? And matter of fact, I have 3 9 millimeters, but my preference is actually a 45 caliber. Okay. Um, I got a 9 millimeter because why? There's a lot of parts for them, and I like to customize guns. So that's why I went with a 9. Um, but caliber, honest to God, it's whatever you're comfortable with. If
Yeah.
you can shoot great with a 38, by God, shoot a 38. You
Yeah.
know, if you shoot great with a 9 millimeter, shoot a 9 millimeter. As long as you can, be accurate and good with your weapon, by all means, use it. Okay.
Right. Right.
Train, train, train. That is the key. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, I might be able to shoot great with a 9 millimeter, but the last time I went to the range was what, 5 years ago? Probably
Oh,
not going to
yeah.
be very good with that gun. I don't
Mhm.
care how good you were with it 5 years ago. Are you good with it now? Have you trained
Right.
with it? You know? And again, and that's something else I want to get into in a later show. And Drew and I was talking about that was training systems. We'll get into that. We got some surprises for
Oh,
that one
yeah,
that
that's
you're
gonna be fun right
really
there.
gonna like. I
Yeah,
promise you.
that's gonna be cool.
Right? Right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I
It's
know.
gonna be great.
I'm chomping over the bit over here. I'm waiting for mine to get delivered from Santa Claus. He's still over there in Seguin, Texas, waiting on, I don't know, maybe
Right on.
a stamp
Some
or
dude
something.
from Gunner's Choice. I don't know. He's got your stuff. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
I can't wait, man. But so again, when it comes down to choosing your weapon, um, as far as caliber goes, whatever you feel
Mhm.
comfortable shooting, whatever you can control, and the thing of it is, not every, we'll stay with 9 millimeter for right now. Um, Not every 9 millimeter is going to shoot the same.
Mhm.
Not every 9 millimeter is going to have the same recoil, you know?
Right.
So if you find a gun you're comfortable with, it feels good in your hand when you're firing, but the recoil might be a little too much, think about, if that gun really feels that good to you and you really like that gun, can you put a compensator on it?
Right. Of
Compensator
course.
will take away some of that recoil, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And then not only that, but it'll also give you a quicker target acquisitions too. So that's another thing to
Sure.
think about. Okay. Um, and another big one you gotta think about is, what purpose will I be if when I carry this weapon, okay, obviously the purpose behind carrying that weapon is self-defense. That's
Right.
number 1, okay?
Right.
But are you gonna be carrying in your truck? Are you a truck driver gonna be carrying it with you? Are you going to be, just out in public every day carrying, or
Hmm.
what situation basically, not necessarily purpose, but situation.
Right.
What situation are you going to be in mostly? Because you don't want to buy a gun that you're going to be comfortable sitting in your truck with if you're going to be walking around all day,
That's
or
true.
vice versa. It doesn't make a whole
Yeah.
lot of sense. Okay. Um, Another thing to think about too is, you know, again, going back to caliber for a second, are you gonna be in situations where, it's gonna be like a lot of clothing people around me are gonna be a lot of clothing? Is it gonna be cold outside? Is it gonna be warm outside? How am
Right.
I gonna conceal it? Do I
Yep.
need something small, compact to conceal? What things like that all play into that scenario, okay?
Yep.
Um, what was I also gonna say? Pretty and to me, I think those are the 2 really big ones that I can think of right off the top of my head. You know, how are you gonna be using this? Are you gonna be concealed carrying? Are you gonna be open carrying? If it's
Right.
open carry, sky's the limit.
Yeah.
If you're concealed carrying, then you're kinda limited a little bit. Or if you're like me and you just don't care about limits, then I'll carry that 50 caliber, I don't
Hmm.
care.
Yeah.
And you watch
Yeah.
me, I'll conceal it, watch me.
Yeah. And a
I've
lot.
seen me do it.
One of the things. Yeah. And funny you say that too is on the other side of the aspect of caliber, and obviously the caliber of a weapon is going to dictate how big the weapon is. Now, in the 9 mil world, you have a small 9 mil, the Glock 43. It is a very small
Mhm.
handgun. I can put my girlfriend has it. I can put that in the palm of my hand, and it fits in the palm of my hand, but it's a 9 mil.
You're not exactly
And
a small guy either, but
well, this is true, and hence why I carry well, obviously it's the only weapon I have. It's the first one that I bought. I carry a 10 mil. Um, Caliber for me has a lot to do with where we came from. Even though we were signal in the military, it also comes from the things that we found and dealt with when we were deployed. And you can vouch for this. Sometimes those guys wear they got a hold of body armor. They got a hold of those ways to protect. And if you're out there with a pew pew 9 mil, all you're really going to do is make them angry. Now, fast forward 20 years since I've been over there, 19 years since I was over there. Um, a larger caliber for me means that if I practice and I train and I practice on this weapon and I can hit constantly in one spot, that means that there's a chance where I can use a bigger caliber more accurately, and it does everything that I need it to do to whatever that person is doing. Now, with that
right.
being said, you and I also talked about velocity, right? Obviously, in a small one bedroom apartment, a 10 mil might go through some stuff, right? A
Slightly
45,
overkill?
slight, but a 45, depending on the grain, might have a little bit of collateral damage too, but not as much because the velocity is a little bit shorter.
Right,
So
right.
so we
Well, you
talk
got
about
different loads too.
right. So we talk about the 50 cal. I talk to you all the time about, man, I really want to put the 50 cal on top of my
We're gonna do
on
it.
top of my
We're gonna do
20.
it.
But the reason is too for me. I I also think about there's a lot of people, and if you're out there watching and you're avid gun people, there's a lot of people that have a lot of guns. I got a friend, a very good friend of mine, live in Houston, and you open his safe, and I don't know what he doesn't have as a handgun, and he collects them, but he uses them and he shoots with them and what have you not.
Right.
I'm like, holy cow, guy! I mean, you could arm the National Guard with what you have sitting in here, and so not having the space and the
Working on it.
ability to have all these different guns, I play in the role of I want something that is going to do what I need it to do, regardless of the element that I'm in. Mainly because I want to make sure the job gets done. With that,
Quick, fast, and in a hurry.
if I miss, that caliber doesn't do anything for me. So You're absolutely right. The 45 is your
Yeah,
go-to.
it's my go-to. That's my
That's your
go-to.
go-to.
Really
Hmm.
is.
But
Really is.
my
But and then here's something else you gotta think about, okay? What situation would you be in?
right.
Okay. Are you gonna be in a firefight? I don't know. Could be. Could be. I don't know.
Uh, Yeah.
That's why I like a 9 mil. I
Right.
got a whole bunch of rounds in that, like what is it? These because I have the extensions on them,
Hmm.
TTI extensions. I don't. Oh, there you go.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
So now that normally is 17 rounds.
Right.
With that on there, I got 19 rounds in there. Okay.
Right.
Plus one in the tube. So then I have 20 rounds, for my first
Sure.
mag and then 19 for the second tube.
Sure. No, and
So
and that makes a lot of sense. And we talk
you
about
don't know the situation. You just got to be
it
prepared. That's
all
it.
about the situation. Out in the country, um, even in the hills, you've heard of people running into, cats and bears and things like
Oh,
that.
yeah. Absolutely.
So you also need a
Absolutely.
round that if you have to reach out some distance with accuracy, depending on where you're at and what you're doing. There's
Oh, yeah.
all those elements you got to take in, but I believe I totally agree with you that if you don't train, go to the range every now and then. We'll talk about some systems that can help you right at your house, but knowing what your rounds are, knowing what your grains are, knowing what those do in flight can really,
Mhm.
make you walk back your decision to get something. I picked the 10 mil because one, I have big hands. So we talked about you touched on something about it fit fit is a big thing. I don't know about you.
Huge.
The Beretta did not really fit in my hand very well. Right? We use the Berettas in the desert, and I
I
just
wasn't a big fan.
I
Wasn't a
wasn't a
big
big
fan.
fan. They didn't fit. Although I had a laser dot on mine, and obviously that compensated for it being uncomfortable. The
Mhm.
Sig, and correct me if I'm wrong, the Sig is a little more bulbous of a grip, right? It's not as
Depending on the SIG, yeah.
right.
It's
The
it's
Glock,
got more of a I guess you could almost say almost like a Beretta feel to it, but
it kind of
to
does.
me, to in comparison between the 2 of those 2 weapons, hands down, and nothing against Beretta, I'm Italian, I love Italian-made Berettas, I love them,
Right.
but
The
between the 2 of
Sig,
those, I would definitely go with SIG.
yeah, the
That's just
Sig.
me.
Hmm.
Absolutely,
It is a
absolutely, but
smooth
I'm
shooting
I'm
weapon.
I'm a
Hmm.
diehard Glock guy though, so
Yeah. Yeah, you turned me on to the Glock because I'd asked you many a times about what do you think about the 326 or the 226 or what do you think, because they the Glock TAC or the Legion, where they have the built-on rail where you can, these do too, but it has their barrels are a little bit longer, on the
there's
the
differences,
Legions are
yeah.
a little bit longer. um but but you talked about comfort too, and for me, as big as my hands are, um the a 9 mil a 9 mil just m- might not fit well enough in my hand unless you can get one with the big grips. Now that's something down your lane. Can
Hogue grip.
people change out the grip size?
Absolutely, absolutely,
So you
absolutely.
can
They have
you
back
can
straps.
customize
A lot
anything.
of the newer Glocks have a back strap where you can put back straps on them. Make them.
Right.
I think it's three different back straps you can put on there. So if you got like hands like an orangutan,
Yeah.
there's a back strap for it.
Right. And this
So
one came
yeah,
with a back strap too. Yeah. So you
absolutely,
just clip it
absolutely,
on, and then it takes up that gap and makes it a snug fit.
right. So again, like I said, the big things are when you're that I would like to touch on again and kind of wrap that portion up. Number one, caliber is not anything. Okay. Unless you're trying to shoot somebody through a brick wall, which I don't think anybody's going to attempt. Okay.
Mhm.
Um, caliber really doesn't mean much unless you're considering it where you're living at. Okay. Then you want to think about, okay, is I'm going to go in an apartment building. I don't want to shoot through and murder my neighbor,
Right.
because then you're going to be held
Right.
liable. And there's nothing that any lawyer can get you out of that. Okay.
Cor-
Now,
correct.
again, caliber, not a big deal. Okay. A lot to think about, situation, where you live, where you're going to be using it, that kind of thing. Am I going to be shooting in, long distances? I'm short. And what I mean by long distance, I'm talking like sub 50 yards.
Right.
Okay. You're not really going to be out there trying to defend yourself past 50 yards, against anything, and I say 50 yards because I'm saying like in Drew's case, what happens if he's out, I'm just saying in Alaska, and there just
Hmm.
happened to be a bear. That 10 millimeter going to take him out. Okay. My 9 millimeter, I hope I can run. That's all I got to say. Okay. Now,
Right.
that being said, train, train, train. No matter what weapon you decide to buy, make sure you train with it and train often.
Right.
Okay. If you're going to get into handgun for self defense, don't half step. Go at it full bore.
Yep.
Train, train, train. Because I used to be a training NCO in the military too. So, but if you don't train, you are not going to
Yeah.
be effective.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
You
Like
know,
playing, it's like a professional basketball player. They're not going
all
to,
day long.
take the year off and expect to go out and play for the Spurs next month. It's not going to happen. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's something to consider. And then also, we had talked about situations and things like that. So there's a
Hmm.
lot to consider. And if you have any questions on any of this, you can always get in touch with us at gearheadandguardians at
Hmm.
gmail.com
Hmm.
anytime. Okay.
And I wanted to point out a quick shout out to Danny. He's watching live all the way from Pennsylvania, and I was talking with Danny
Roger.
earlier today, and he's got a 9 mil, and he just put a Bushnell sight on his, and he asked me, um,
Mhm.
uh, how do you sight in, the optic for that, and I wanted to touch on that real quick. We're going to go into that on another one, but
Roger.
um, we were going to talk sometime about the lasers that we put in the board, and I told him about that. And this is the first time that he's actually going to be shooting with an optic. So, what I can say to Danny is, you know, just once you get sighted in, and we'll go into that training on another one of ours. Just go
Yeah.
out there and shoot it, man. And funny question. He asked me today. He's like, because I told him, I said I carry a Glock 20, a 10 millimeter, and he's like, good God. And I said, yeah. He says, you can't conceal that. And I said, no. He said, so good question though. He asked me, he's like, if you have a concealed carry, can you still open carry?
Yes.
I said, in the state of Texas, you can.
In the state of Texas, you
Now,
can.
yeah. So that was a good conversation that we had with my buddy
Way
Danny.
cool. Way
Thanks
cool.
for
Way
watching,
cool.
by the way, Dan. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. I sent him a message in the chat. But now I want to kind of touch on something real quick.
Sure.
Um, and I know there's going to be some naysayers out there.
Hmm.
And again, our show is all about what we do, what we like, and what we don't like. It's nothing more than an opinion. Okay.
Hmm.
We
Hmm.
all know what opinions are like, and everybody's got one, and they all stink. Okay. So
Correct. That,
that being
true.
okay, this week's tech tip. All right, this week's
Ta-da.
tech tip. Dun, dun. All right, we're gonna talk about, and I hope that YouTube doesn't like nix this video, but I'm going to show you. Right there, it is.
The PL3
The
Olight.
PL3R Valkyrie by dun, 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 dun,
Olight.
Olight. Okay, now
And this is
a
something
lot of people.
I've always asked you about, because I've just would the whole tack feel of a light, you
Yeah.
know, is yeah.
Well, and I'm gonna be really honest with you. The first time I ever put a light on one of my Glocks, okay, and believe it or not, it was a stream light. and I've had actually I had 4 of them at one time, and I'll be honest, the only reason that I sold them is because I seen so much stuff on the internet bashing Olight, bashing Olight, and I've always been the underdog. I'm a Cubs fan for Christ's sake.
Right. Yeah. Let's root.
Okay,
I'm a
okay.
Vikings
I'm
fan.
an underdog. I pull for the underdog, right? So
Right. Right.
before I even spent money, I did a little research. And and there's a couple guys here on YouTube that I watch their videos and I'm avid fans and I don't want to put their names out there because I don't want to, I don't want nobody getting jacked at me for saying, "Hey, what are you saying my name on there?" So I'm just
Right.
saying there's a couple guys on here that I really enjoy watching their videos and some of their videos are just outstanding. But one guy, super cool dude, man, and I hope one day I'll get a chance to meet him. But he was talking about the Olight. So I watched it and I was like, "Wow, okay." So I went into it even more. And you know how I am. I'll
Hmm.
on the internet for days just trying to find out stupid stuff like how to farm worms, something stupid like that, just dumb stuff, right? And I will literally
Useless
search
knowledge that'll
days
make you millions.
exactly, So so I did. I dived into it, I got manuals and this, that, and the other. Okay. The reason why I went with the PL3R Valkyrie, okay? Big thing, I'm gonna be honest. The biggest reason is it's not expensive. Okay.
Hmm.
It's $100. Normally goes for about $100. Okay. Now I have found a few websites that if you watch them close enough, you'll find them drop down to $69.
Sure.
Steal.
Sure.
Okay. Now,
Yeah. And for it to shine a light in the dark, I mean,
and I'm going to get into that too. Now, it does go at a 1300 and a 1500 settings, as far as like the lumens, the brightness of the light. Okay.
yeah.
The biggest thing I've heard people complain about the PL3 was that they would turn the light on. Okay. Turn that
Hmm.
light on. As you can see, I got the light on right now. Can't really
Right.
see the gun, but I do have the light on. Okay. And they would talk about, oh, in 30 seconds or so, it dies. I sat out in front
Mm.
of my house here, was it 2 weeks ago? We had a big old barn owl sitting out, woo, woo, out in front of the house. I was like, what in the I'm part native Indian too, and we don't dig owls too much. Okay. At night. Okay. It's supposed to be a bad omen. But so I went outside and I had my pistol light and I'm shining it up in there. All the neighbors come out and they're like, wow, look at that. That's really cool. What is that flashlight? And then when they seen it was my gun, they're like, wow. Now I got a neighbor across the street that's into guns too. And he asked me what light it was, and I told him I said it's an Olight PL3 Valkyrie, PL3R Valkyrie. Okay. And the difference that I've found that I've noticed, the PL3R is rechargeable with a magnetic charger. I mean,
Hmm.
literally, you get it, that far. We're talking like 4 or 5, maybe about 4 inches, 3 or 4 inches from
Right.
the light. It, snap right in, and it charges quick. Okay, so
Right.
it charges with like a is it not a USB charger? Matter of fact, let me see if I can grab this. Where is Yeah, right here. See, that's the charger.
That's it. It just sits on it.
Yep, and then right here on the bottom of here, where my finger is, if it's charging, it'll be red. When it's done charging, it will turn bright green. You can't miss it. It'll work in your truck, in your car, on your
Yeah.
motorcycle. If you have a USB port, it will work.
Right.
Okay, trust me, I know. I seen me do it.
Right. And I
Okay,
was reading about it. I was reading about it today. And what turned me on to Olight is they make, and I've seen other couple lights do this too. We're talking about the Valkyrie. Let's go one step further. With the guys that like myself that actually want a laser dot too, right? So you
sure.
were showing me the Valkyrie and everything, and then I said, "Man, look at this one." Um, the BLR, I believe it is.
That's the
Uh,
pro, right?
the
You're
Pro,
talking about?
and it's got the light inside. I mean, the laser is comes
Is
right out the
inside the
same as the
bezel.
shine light. So not only can you blind the person or, shine light on what you're doing, sometimes that bright light might make it, if you don't have an optic, it might mess up your iron sights, but you'll see the dot and it's bright and you can strobe and that laser is seen through all that. So the
Exactly.
Olight, I'm there right now. That's a bright light, man. I
It's
I
bright.
was really, when
It's
you
jam
turned me
up,
onto it,
man.
I was like, man, I gotta have one of them.
And it's a great light, and like I said, and the biggest thing, I've seen a lot of people talk about. Excuse me, Coca Cola is not my friend. Anyway, I've seen a lot of people talk about, oh well, it blows up. Yeah, you'll think that's great until it blows up in your hand. Okay, well, then I started doing again doing research.
Right.
Okay, what they're referring to are lights and not just Olight. Okay, we're talking Streamlight and even some of the really high brand names that are like almost $500 for a light. Which I think is kind
Right.
of outlandish. But if that's your bag, then go for it, man. I'm not telling you not
Yeah.
to. Okay,
Right.
what I'm saying is that doesn't fit for me. Okay,
Right.
I'll tell you what works for me. Okay, now that being said, again, um, what was happening was with that light blowing up or all these other lights that were blowing up that they failed to mention. Okay. People are putting the wrong batteries in them.
Mm, yeah, and having
Okay.
that rechargeability on it without where it's the ion battery,
You don't have to
it's
worry
fail
about
safe.
batteries, nothing.
Absolutely, it's fail safe. Yeah,
Exactly.
and I think that was a
As long
smart
as
move. Um, that was a smart move to go to something where you don't have to take it apart to add a battery,
Mhm.
the solar powered, the solar recharging optic. I mean, going to the non-battery or the non-invasive way to change your power, especially on
Sure,
a
sure.
firearm. And you take something like the Valkyrie out in attack world. What if it's raining and you got to change a battery? Or what if there's more? I mean, there's just so many things that just having a plug and play and be done. And it's not even
Makes
a
it so
port.
much nicer.
It just sits on top of that charger.
Yep,
It's a
that's it.
wireless charging, and that is absolutely bang, just like that. That's amazing. I mean, it's just like a Galaxy or an iWatch, where
Yeah,
it just touches it and it magnetizes and it's wireless charging.
it's exactly what it
Now,
is. It's a magnet.
with that, let me ask you this: something that I wanted to ask you about that real quick was, is that any wireless charger? So, what if you forget your charger? Can you set your on a regular wireless charger, or is that
No.
something that we have yet to figure out?
No, no, that
It's proprietary.
Roger.
Yeah. Which, I mean, don't forget the
But
charger.
here's the thing.
You're going to
All
use it.
right. Right. So here's the thing. Okay. For me, I have what now? 3 Olights now, and they're all PL3R.
Right.
I have one in my bedroom, I have one in my office, and I have one in my truck. Where else am I going to be with my gun?
Correct.
If
Correct.
I'm out in public somewhere, I was in my truck
Yeah.
while I'm driving somewhere. What do? I reach over, slap that thing on there, and I drive.
Mhm.
Go
And
to where
it's
I got to
cheaper
go.
to
When I
buy a
get there,
charger than it is to a blown up light because you forget the wrong batteries or something
Lord,
like
yes.
that.
Lord,
I
yes. Because you'll
I
buy
think
the charger
that's
once.
a very smart move on their part. Mhm.
Absolutely.
And
I
I'm
do
looking
too.
to order mine. I'm gonna order mine very soon. Uh,
I got
I
another one coming.
really am. I'm gonna get one coming. I mean, the first accessory on this hand cannon I got is gonna be a light. I'm gonna see
Right?
what is about to not be there. That's nice.
Right. Well, then you can't knock that Ranger proof gear trigger I put in there for you.
No, I'm gonna tell you, and we'll talk about that next time. But another thing, it's funny you mentioned that too, right? The more accurate sights and lasers and lights that you get, when we talk about the triggers, trigger hop and trigger jolt, and all that, when you're reaching out and seeing downrange a little bit, it'll move. And so I'm glad you hit on that trigger mixed in the smoothness of the trigger will actually make the sight
Absolutely. Make
the
your
light,
shot groups a lot tighter.
your shot group
Absolutely.
smooth, even with the light on. And that I really and I mean, it's like
Mhm.
building a car, man. I mean,
Exactly,
you mess with one thing,
it's
no
gonna throw
matter
something
what it
else
is,
off.
whether it's a gun or a car, you mess with one thing, you mess with five. And I actually
That's right.
learned that from my teammate Landon. I never thought of it that way, but he always said, "Hey, man, if you mess with one, you're gonna mess with five." And it's the same way with a gun. If you put a light on there, or you put an optic, or you put some on there to help enhance, but you have a problem where the trigger might not work for you, and you're having a problem and you can't get your grouping down because of small stuff, whether it's
Sure.
breathing,
It could be
which you have to
anything.
learn how to do, or the way that you squeeze and you're squeezing wrong and the trigger isn't just the way you're, that
Sure. It could
optic
be
or that light is
mechanical, it could be, yeah, human
correct.
error. So,
Correct.
I mean, the thing about it is, especially some of the things that I do, personally with my weapons, it takes away a lot of that. You know what I mean? And I showed
The
you, I
polishing.
broke it down for you. As a matter of fact, we did it before the show tonight.
Yeah,
I was
you did.
breaking it
And
down
you
and
did it
showing
to
you some of
mine
the
too.
stuff I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That
there's a
that
lot of
little bit of
things that
work.
we'll go over all that stuff future shows,
Yeah.
but again, the Olight PL3R Valkyrie, you can't go wrong with it.
Can't.
Guys, really. It's a great light. It's super inexpensive, super dependable. It's strong. I tossed my dang gun in the truck a few times. I can't remember how many times I've just
It's durable. Yeah.
yeah,
Very durable.
tried it because I got one of the little magnet carriers I keep in my truck, yada yada yada. And
Right.
the only thing I have to say that I don't like about the Olight or any of my other lights that I've had, even stream lights that I've had, okay,
Yeah.
because I have the ones where they mount, like the mount mounts flat, and then it comes around and comes up, so it sits in a carrier and it covers the trigger guard, right?
Yeah.
Well, when I put that gun in there, a lot of times well, hello, there's some sunlight in here. I got to reach down there and
Ah,
click because it'll turn the light on. That's the
yeah.
only thing I don't like.
Yeah. And
That's it. That's it. Otherwise,
you
The
know,
Olight
push
PL3R
come to
Valkyrie has been amazing.
right. Push come to shove, and when you introduced me to the Olight yesterday, I forgot when we
Yesterday.
talked about it, because I kept telling you I want a tack light, and you said, "Bro, I've got Olight, and you need to look at it." And I did, and I was really impressed with one, the easeability with the
Right on.
charging. You don't have to tear it apart. The durability, and as so much as that, I went onto my Facebook, and all of a sudden, all the Olight, the Olight media
Information and
streams
stuff.
come through my Facebook, and I share them because, listen, I mean, when you do all the reviews, there's a ton of lights out there. There's lights for days, right? And there's good lights, there's mediocre lights. It goes back to what
Sure.
is it? What are you going to use it for, and what is going to fit with you? Because smaller handguns, you and I talked about this. The smaller weapons,
Mhm.
the light may, it might protrude a little bit more in front of the barrel,
Sure, sure.
you know,
But they have
and then
minis
so
too.
now you got to play with that too. But the O light for us, for me personally, I can't wait to put it on this Glock 20, man.
But that the thing of it is, again, super not inexpensive, okay?
Hmm.
It's not cheap, because shoot, I can go on eBay all day and buy cases of them for $20 a pop or $30 a
Right,
pop, whatever, okay? Again, in that aspect, in that situation, you are getting what you're paying for, okay? Now,
right.
again, what I have to say that I just totally dig Olight, man. I can't say anything bad about Olight, be honest with you, I really can't, okay? You're getting especially with the PL3R, okay? It's not expensive, okay? But you're getting way more than what you're paying for. I mean, you
Yeah,
talk about
especially for
bang for your buck, holy cow,
1500
you can't beat it.
lumen. I mean,
1,500. And
for
I can't remember what the throw was. Let me look at the throw real quick. I know there's a throw listing in here somewhere,
that's bright, Jack.
and
That's
oh, it's
bright.
bright. There is no doubt about it. I wanna say it's 200, is it 205 meters
Mm. And
at
it's adjustable
1,500?
stream, right? You can go wide to narrow stream. You can stream,
No,
right?
no, not
So it's
no.
fixed.
And
It's
if
just
it does
fixed.
if it does, that's something I haven't read about or seen,
Right.
okay?
Right.
But, God, I wanna find that. But anyway, long story
Yeah.
short, okay,
Oh, light.
Olight is, if you're looking for a good, dependable, sturdy light, check them out. Okay. I'm not telling you that they are the very best thing on the planet. Okay. But I'm telling you right now, they're right up there with the very best things on the planet right
Yeah,
now.
I mean,
They are right up there with them.
seeing the way they're built, right? And what I want, like I want the laser too, and you have to combat. How do I put
Sure.
tack light on there with a laser? You got the grip laser, you have, and then I saw the one where they're one of the few that have the laser that's embedded inside, and all you gotta
In the
do is hit the
bezel, right.
button. I was like, sold,
That's it.
yep,
All right.
sold.
So Olight, if you're looking for anybody to sponsor, just know a couple guys. Anyway.
Just a little bit. Heard they're great people. You told me you talked to them.
Yeah,
Great,
yeah, I
great
did
group of
actually,
people.
and I don't know if it was somebody actually from Olight or if it was somebody that sold for Olight, you know what I mean, like a dealership or whatever,
Right.
but, whoever they were, um, if you're watching, you're the best because they did subscribe to our channel, I know that, they did subscribe to
Nice.
the channel, and, as a matter of fact, that's who I bought my, second Olight, or the second, third or fourth Olight, that's who I bought it from.
Nice.
And, yeah, I mean, and the person was just an amazing, super awesome, nice person. And, if you're watching, you're looking for us to test some stuff, let us know.
Hey, we'll put it through the test, and we'll
I'll
definitely
test
give you
anybody's stuff. I don't care.
100%. And I'm gonna reach out to my buddy Danny who's still watching. Danny, you just got your new Bushnell on top of that. Go ahead and get you an O light, and you're gonna have your 9 right up where it needs to be, my friend.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And then again, like, later on, if you're looking to upgrade stuff, where I'm sure we'll have more streams, more videos. We're hoping this summer that we can get out and do some videos actually out at the range
Yeah.
or even at the track when we start talking about racing and stuff.
Yep.
But yeah, man. And Daniel, I'll give your boy Hess here a link, and it's a website, and I'm gonna try and get it posted on the bottom here too as well, in the next day or so. But the link to that person I was talking to you about that has those Olights, I'm telling you guys, $69,
Can't beat it.
brand
He's
new
looking at it
in the
right
box,
now.
sealed box.
Right?
Okay, these aren't refurbished, they're not rebuilt. These are brand new
Brand new.
for $69.
Yep. 69 bucks. And Danny,
Okay.
he says he's looking at him now and be like, "Hey, you're looking at two guys that could." I'm just saying, Christmas is, my birthday's coming up in 2 weeks, so I'm just saying.
Well, my birthday was yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, if you're still within the 30-day window.
There you go. There you go. We'll go with that.
Yeah,
But
it's a good
anyway,
price, and
again, I'm gonna try to
just
put
like you,
that link down there so you guys can check that out as well.
yeah, just like you just said, Danny. That he said it's a great price, and so we're what we're telling you is straight up. For what you're going to pay, top notch stuff.
Thank you. But yeah, I mean, basically what I'm saying is you don't have to go out and spend a fortune to get a product that will do the same thing, as another product. Now,
Yep.
is it going to be as jam up and awesome as one of those $500 lights? Probably not, but really dang close for a fraction of what you're buying from,
Yeah.
spending on another light. So,
Yeah.
anyways,
It's far fetched to
Olight,
say it's a
God bless you guys,
budget
you're the
thing.
best.
Olight.
In my opinion, Olight is jam up, probably one of the best products I've ever bought for a Glock. Okay, and I bought a
Nice.
ton of products. Okay, now last thing we got, because we're going to be done here in about 20 more minutes. Want to touch on a subject that's kind of near and dear to both of us.
Mhm.
Had a brother of ours. Now I didn't know him, never met the man, still a brother.
Mhm.
That we lost him. We lost him on the 26th. So tonight's big topic for the end of the evening is going to be soldier suicide, veteran suicide, and civilian suicide.
Mhm.
Okay. It's a big deal. It's nothing bat your eyes at. Okay. These people are people that we love and care about.
Hmm.
And you know, a lot of times people need to take the blinders off.
Yeah.
Okay. Take the blinders off, open your eyes and listen to people. Okay. Because it's not always a cry for help that you're gonna hear. Okay.
Right.
And I'm telling you, proof positive. I know what I'm talking about. I've
Yeah.
been there. Okay.
Mhm.
Somebody say, "Hey man, you all right?" "Oh, I'm good, man." "Really? You sure?" "No, I'm good. I'm good." Watch them because they're
Yeah.
not good.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a,
Because I mean, I come from, as you can tell, I'm not exactly a spring chicken. Okay. I come from a really old school family. Okay. My dad was a World War II, Vietnam, and Korean War veteran. Okay. My grandfather was a World War One veteran. If I'm not mistaken, it was World War One. I could be wrong on that, so don't quote me. But Grandpa was also a veteran. Dad was World War II, uh, Korea War, Vietnam. My brother was a Vietnam veteran. I did Bosnia, and I've done the Iraqi War.
hmm
I've seen it. Okay. Um, again, it's nothing to take light, guys. Okay. Um, if you know anybody that's having problems like that, if they're contemplating it or just acting kind of weird, man, do not take, "Oh, I'm good," for an answer. Don't. Keep an eye on them, man.
Yeah.
Check them out. Buddy checks, man. "Hey, where's my battle at? Where's battle?" That's
Yeah.
my battle right there. Trust me, we talk
Yeah.
all the
And
time.
and
All the time we talk. Why?
yeah, and
We
even
checking on each other. And
our
it
non-military brothers,
yeah, I mean, I'm
it's
not saying just
anybody.
military, it's
It's
anybody.
anybody. Yeah.
Any,
In,
because I've had childhood friends that I've lost, you know,
yeah.
due to that same thing, you know?
Yeah.
So, guys out there, ladies, don't I'm trying not to get choked up. Um, don't don't let it go to the wayside, you know? I'm not telling you to go overreact and get them
Yeah.
mad at you, but at the same time, I'd rather them be really pissed off at me, you know, that
Hmm.
I hogtied him and threw him in the back of my truck and took him to the hospital,
Yeah.
you know? I'd rather him be mad at me than to not have him around at all.
You touched on something there. I think uh, there's many things that can contribute to someone's mind going down that road, right?
Pain, relationship,
There's
anything.
marital
Pain
issues,
is a big one.
yeah, financial issues. There and when you come, you know, I can't. I can say that I've kind of been down that road some time ago with just the way
Personal
my
growth.
mind was just filled,
Yeah.
and sometimes, but you can't the willpower. Chuck, you and I talked about this earlier today, and it's just something that I wanted to say, and it doesn't go said lightly. You can't say any of this lightly, but I'm going to say this: when we speak about uh, organizations like the VA or organizations that help veterans, especially in the medical world, um, it is a very tedious and sometimes a very long process to figure out what's going on with you, then for them to fix you, and then to keep that going to live as long as you can live. Um, I know people
Proof
firsthand
right there.
that
Look
yeah,
that way.
you have to now. I'm going to talk about the VA just for a hot second here. It saved my life. The VA saved my life, and I can say
Right.
that. And I will go against a lot of the people that talk bad about it. But there are also a lot of people that have medical issues that weren't as attentive in the medical world as cancer. There is that gray area of where where do you take your ailment compared to someone else that has an ailment and look at theirs and go, well, why is theirs more important than mine?
Right.
Okay. You're the 90% of the time, and I'm going to say this, could be the number could be way off, but all the years that I've been dealing with cancer and then actually going to the VA and then actually looking and seeing everybody else, young and old, that are going through stuff, may not be cancer, but it's just as important because it's veteran health. We as veterans, I'm going to say this and it's going to sting a little. We as veterans and people sometimes talk ourselves into the mindset of they don't care because it's not now. It's not instantaneous. Why are they not doing this? Right? Um, can't say that all VAs are primo. Can't say that all
You're
doctors
right.
that work in the VA are on point and primo. You have
Absolutely.
people that have the mindset of I get paid whether you come in or not. Or there are some that go in there and say, I really care about these people. It's the luck of the draw on who you get assigned as your PCM. And I say all that to say this. If you, as a veteran, and any veteran that's listening right now or listens in the future, take it from me. You cannot let one answer, you can't let one doctor, you can't let one facility be the only place that you look for when you're not getting what you need. We cannot sit here
Right.
as veterans, you know, and I'm going to say this if any of you listening, we go over there, we go do what we volunteered to do because that's what we wanted to do to help other people live under the blanket of freedom because it felt right to us. We can't always think that everybody thinks like that, even when it comes to us getting taken care of.
That's right.
So we have to continue to go, okay, I see a problem here. I'm not feeling good. Stuff's kind of going downhill. The whole, they didn't call me back, they don't care.
You got to put
Okay,
that out of your mind.
you got to get that out of your mind. While you may be right, or while that may be the way you perceive the
Perceive it.
situation, or that's what it's become. Before you get any worse, go get
Go
another
someplace
opinion.
else.
Go
Go
somewhere
someplace else.
else. Ask for another doctor. Go to
You have that
the
right.
office of case case study or caseworker. Get assigned a caseworker, and they will be your medical advocate from that point forward. You have a
Amen.
problem and you're not getting to the doc, you go to your caseworker because their job is to make sure that you are being taken care of when, where, and how you're supposed to.
That's their sole job.
That's their sole job. And if you don't take the time, and I say take the time, it's long, maybe tedious. You're not going to get the answers right away. You deal with something for so long and the results are the same. At some point, it's okay to say, caseworker, I feel like something's not right because my health is still declining. I'm doing what they say. They may look at you and go like, what are you doing? Are you doing everything that they
Exactly.
told you to do? And if you are and it's still declining, then you have a bigger
Let's fix
problem
it.
on your hands that you have someone to help you fight. Don't sit back and go, throw my hands up and
Done.
say, they don't care. And the next thing you know, some people make the decision to think that it's a little bit simpler the other way. And it's not.
And it's not.
It's not. You
It's not.
cannot sit there and think that you don't affect you may think of that you're going to affect somebody else,
That's false.
but
That is
that's
false.
false. And I'm going to say this, not take up the whole time on it, but I'm also going to say this a little bit. If you hear as a brother, as a sister, as a parent, as a friend, as someone that knows these people very in and out. I know Chuck in and out. And the minute Chuck, if he were to come and say something that is a little I'm gonna be like, that didn't sound right.
Roger.
And if it continues on a little bit longer, he and I are going to have a
We got a problem.
conversation and it's not going to be stationary.
Right.
It's not. And I do that.
I'm the
I will
same
do
way,
that with my
bro. I'm the
brother
same way.
Sam, Jeremiah, my friend Danny, anybody that I hold close to me are going to get it. If people know and hear, say something.
Absolutely.
If you're on Facebook and you read a message and you don't do anything, or if you're on a social
Call.
media, you're wrong.
Call that
It's your
person.
call them.
Knock on their door.
Call them.
Go see how they're doing. Buddy check. Hello.
Be be the change or be a part of the change to keep somebody from doing what they're supposed to do. And I guarantee you, if you help that person and you get to them before they hurt themselves, no matter in what form, and you get them to the hospital, I'm going to look at you while I'm walking off after you're admitted. I'm going to say, be mad at me all you want. But when you're alive for the next 20, 30 years or you live out your life, when I die before you can sit there and say, my bad guy. I
Amen.
don't care.
Amen.
And you don't have to know the person to do that.
Amen. That's right. You don't have to. I'm telling you. I'm on Facebook. Okay. Under the Gunner's Choice. Okay.
Mhm.
And uh yeah, there's a couple groups that I'm involved with, and sometimes I hear some weird stuff. And the thing of it is, a lot of these folks I've never met in my life.
Mhm.
Never met them a day in my life. Don't even half of my 90% of them, I don't even know where they live. Okay.
Yeah.
But you best believe if I read it, I act on it every single time.
Yeah.
Okay. I've lost friends. I've lost battle buddies. I've lost all kinds of, people in my life. I'm
Mhm.
54 years old. I'm bound to lose a few. Okay. But that's life. I get it.
Yep.
But if I can prevent it, even if it's somebody I don't know, I've done my job
Yeah. I
as a retired non-commissioned officer, senior non-commissioned officer at that. Okay. Um, I don't take the responsibility that I have as a human being with a heart that cares for people, as a friend, as a battle buddy, as somebody that somebody might just can't stand my guts,
Yep.
you know? And I hate to bring God into things because I know sometimes people get offended by that, but I really don't care. Okay. As a good human being, as someone that holds God near and dear to me. Now, yeah, do I have a bad mouth? Yeah, sure I do. That doesn't mean I'm not a God fearing man. That means I'm stupid.
Sure.
Okay. When
Sure.
it comes to that. Okay.
Mhm.
But point is, we're supposed to be there. Am I my brother's keeper?
Yeah.
Am I supposed to treat people the way I want to be treated? Absolutely. It's in the book.
Mhm.
By God, I'm going to do it. Okay. Not only that, it's the right thing to do, period.
Right.
Outside of religion, outside of the Bible, it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
You want people to be good to you, be good to them first.
Right.
And be
It,
excited. Be excited to be there for them. Because I'm
right.
telling you what, they'll never forget you. Ever.
You know, I made the mistake um of in the beginning um not taking my diagnosis seriously. I didn't take it seriously. And it wasn't that I didn't do what when we found out or when I found out that I had it, it's not that I didn't do what the doctor said, right? I'm glad I don't have to go through that pain anymore because biopsies are terrible. But I went to the river with some family friends, Sam and them. We went to the river shortly after that, and I didn't I didn't think anything of it. It was still kind of new, right? But I didn't think it was that big of a deal. And when I was getting ready to leave, Sam walked up to me and gave me a hug, and he was just losing it. And I said, Sam, I said, what's wrong with you, man? And he says, what is wrong with you? And I said, I don't know. What's he's like, my brother's got cancer, and you're sitting here acting like everything's kosher. And I learned at that moment that while it is important, it was also my job to reassure everybody else that I'm going to do everything I got to survive this and not be the woe is me Debbie Downer to feed off
Right.
that. I'm not that
Amen.
guy. I don't want you feeling sorry for me, right? I don't. Now, with that being said, um, I go through some hardships in life and marriages and stuff like that, and I was like more agitated and had more bad thoughts in my head about my worth and stuff through that than it was having a disease. But I learned a valuable
Sure.
lesson about that. I really did, and it was about take care of yourself. And we talk about Zalise and the relief for troops, and if we can bleed into that
Right.
real quick, our
Absolutely. Let's
charity.
do it. We got
There
5
is a
mics
better
left.
way of life. There is a better way of life. And go to relieffortroops.com, relieffortroops.org. Speak with myself, Mark O'Donnell. We will get you on a path to better life. We will get you on a path to naturally start taking care of some of the things that's going on with you. May not cure them, but your mind will be at ease, and then we can help you get to a clear path of getting yourself
Right
taken care
on.
of, answer those questions. But now everything can calm down and go, okay, let's focus on this a little bit. Let's figure this out. So relieffortroops.org, relieffortroops.com. Send us an email, go to the site, read about Zalise. I'm on it. Chuck's going to be on it. And what it does for your mind and allow you to get focused and calm everything down. It's what we're trying to do to combat this mentality that
Right.
nobody cares.
And that's the biggest farce I've ever heard in my life. Because I'm here to tell you, that guy right there, right over there, that dude right there, and this guy right here might not know you, but I give a damn. I promise you, and I
We
know he
do,
does too.
we do.
And that being said, if anybody out there is considering um, the subject that we really don't want to talk about, but suicide, okay? If anybody's considering it, is it? Let me double check, make sure I get the right number for you. Yep. Okay, I was right. 988. It's a suicide and crisis lifeline. Okay. If you can't get in touch with me, or you can't get in touch with Drew, or if you can't get in touch with a friend, or you can't get in touch with the VA, call them. You don't have to be a soldier to call 988. 988 is a suicide and crisis lifeline. You can call that anytime and get help. Okay.
Yeah.
But again, don't be afraid. If you got questions about anything that we've talked about tonight, whether it be guns or O-lights or suicide awareness or Relief for Troops, which is a great organization.
And the
You know,
Stop Soldier Suicide, your fundraiser or your
oh
charity
yeah,
that you're
uh,
a part of.
the Guardian Group, right? The Guardian Group, that's for human trafficking, sex trafficking. It's all battling against all of that. I know the last year or so, I've heard a lot about it coming right down here, right down I-10 in Texas, where people are getting kidnapped and taken places they don't want to be. You know, and that's what the Guardian Group's all about. They combat that, and it's a great organization. And we do have merchandise available at the Gunners and Gearheads
Hmm.
down,
Hmm.
and I don't know, in the first episode or the first trailer, there should have been a link there, but we do have merchandise there.
Hmm.
Um, so every purchase of our merchandise, the Gearheads and Guardians gear goes towards these charities as well.
Yep.
Okay. So a
Yes.
percentage of, if you buy a t-shirt, okay,
Mhm.
we might get a whole $5 profit, and that's max on every product on there. There's no more than a $5 profit. Okay.
Yep.
Reasons being is we want to make them affordable for you. And the little bit of money that we do get, we don't pocket none of it. Okay. Just so
Mm-mm.
you know,
Nope. All charity.
a percentage of it goes to Relief for Troops. So we can help other vets like us, okay, get the help and things that they might need to, sustain and maintain until VA can get to them, or maybe even not even worry about the VA after that.
Yep.
And the other part of it will go towards the Guardian Group, which again, they combat against human trafficking. Okay,
Yep.
we don't want nobody's kids to get scooped up, because I've seen it in San Antonio a couple times. You can go on the websites and see all these kids are just getting snatched up, gone. Nobody knows where they're at. Okay.
Yeah.
So we want to prevent that because, I don't think I could live with myself. Honest to God. I would not stop until I found, if that was one of my kids, where they were at.
Yeah.
I couldn't live with myself if I didn't. Okay.
Yep.
So that being said, it is 8:00. Time to sign off for the evening, and we will definitely see you next week. Probably going to be Wednesday. And the only reason we didn't do it this Wednesday is because it was my birthday, and my
And happy
best
birthday
half,
again.
thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
And my best
Never,
half,
32 never looked so good.
that's right. 32 never looked so good. I wish I was 32. Anyway, again, also something else I wanted to kind of bring up too, real fast, like 10 seconds. If you have a topic that you would like us to
Yes.
discuss, gunnersandgearheads@gmail.com. Give us a shout. Let us know what you're kind of thinking about, and we'll shoot you an email back and say, hey, well, let's talk about this and kind of get even I can't stop hiccuping. Get a gist about what you're trying to find out, and maybe we can
Mhm.
put something together and collaborate and make something up for you, and get you the information you're looking for.
Absolutely. And also in the YouTube, leave a comment if there's something that you
Absolutely.
want to. Again, it's Gearheads and Guardians at what was the at
Gmail.
gmail.com.
Mhm.
So shoot us a line, and we're here for you. We're doing
Absolutely.
this all for you. This is something we thought up over a few months and said, we need to do something like this. And then yeah, this is
Well, not only that,
this is
it gives
all
me
for you.
an excuse to BS during the day too. So
I know, right?
that
You
way our
work all
girls
day
are
and
gonna
you're
be
like,
better
"What are
if
we
I
doing
go, "What's
tonight?"
wrong with
Let's just
you guys always talking? Why?"
let's just go shoot the bull on live TV on
That's it.
live
That's it.
YouTube. Awesome.
But anyways, guys, look, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget,
Thank you.
like, subscribe. You know the deal, guys. All right.
Yep.
We're here for you. We enjoy your company. Daniel, thanks for coming in, man, and piping up
Yeah,
in the
buddy.
chat.
Thanks, Danny,
I
for
really
coming in.
appreciate it. God bless y'all. And again, stay safe out there. And if you ever need to talk, here we are.
We're here.
God bless you.
And just pass everybody high on the outside. Nitro said it.
Right on. God bless y'all. You have a great night. Stay safe and don't do nothing stupid that we wouldn't do. Doesn't leave a whole
Because
lot
we
to
do it all.
imagination. And don't leave a whole lot to imagination. So take care, guys. We'll see you next week, 7:00 next Wednesday. I'm thinking we're probably going to do some really cool tech stuff next week. So stay tuned. God bless.